Hello and welcome to the Volunteer Connections program information presentation video. Volunteer Connections is a Workforce Central Career Center and Central Mass Workforce Investment Board initiative. So let's get started. The goals of the Volunteer Connections Skills Exchange program are simple. It's to help connect job seekers with volunteer opportunities that enable them to learn and apply occupational skills. Now you might be curious why the Career Center would encourage job seekers to consider a volunteer opportunity. Reasons for considering a volunteer experience include learning or practicing a new job skill, exploring an industry or occupation that you have an interest in, networking with new people, staying connected to the workplace during your job search, which would help close any gaps that you might have in your resume. It also helps an organization accomplish a task that might positively impact upon your community. The Volunteer Skills Exchange program is a self-directed program that's merely facilitated by Workforce Central staff. That means that you're responsible for taking care of most of the elements involved in the program. Volunteer opportunities may be located in a variety of work settings and industries, including area community-based organizations, nonprofits, and public agencies. However, please note, placement as a volunteer with for-profit businesses is not allowed at this time. Job duties may include administrative work, computer work, project management, research, or other tasks that are mutually agreed upon with the host site. We encourage you, though, to think strategically about the type of volunteer work you do. For instance, working with in-demand software or with industry-recognized equipment can help increase your value to potential employers. This slide shows you the overall program design for the Volunteer Connections Initiative. You're here at the left at Step 1, viewing the information presentation. Next steps include completing a questionnaire and then scheduling and attending a workshop, at which point you'll identify potential host sites. Then you'll work with the host site to complete their application process and begin and complete your volunteer assignment. So now let's take a closer look at each step. As we mentioned, Step 1 is learning about the program by reviewing this presentation. You'll proceed to Step 2 if you're willing to make a commitment to spending a portion of your time each week to volunteering. Please note that for those collecting unemployment insurance benefits, you should spend no more than 19 hours per week maximum volunteering, as you still need to be available and looking for work. Step 2 in the process is to complete the Volunteer Connections Research Questionnaire to identify what type of placement would be the best fit for you. Again, we want you to think strategically about the volunteer opportunity that you would like to take part in so that you maximize your potential value to employers. Things you might want to think about include the skills you would like to learn, the workplace industry or occupation that you'd like to be involved with, your time commitment and schedule, as well as your background. At the end of this step, you should call and schedule your attendance at a Volunteer Connections workshop. More information will come about this step. The third step in the process is to attend the Volunteer Connections workshop and review your completed questionnaire with the program coordinator to identify appropriate host sites. Then you'll learn how to connect with them. This is your chance to see which local organizations are looking for volunteers and how you might establish a volunteership that'll be a win-win for both you and the organization. Step 4 is to complete the host site application process, which may include completion of an online or on paper application, an in-person interview, a meeting with department leaders and staff, and a background check. Each organization has their own process and requirements that you'll need to follow. It is, however, a good way to get practice with interviewing techniques for a job, so treat this process as you would any job search or interview. So the next step in the process is to begin your volunteer project. Be sure to follow through on all your commitments and take advantage of the networking and other learning opportunities that come up. This is your chance to learn and practice new skills and to make valuable connections while also doing good in the community. Be sure also to stay in touch with the Volunteer Connections Program Coordinator or other Workforce Central staff to let them know how things are going, and feel free to contact them should you need any follow-up support. The last step in the program is to complete your volunteer project. Whether you find a job or simply complete your assignments, make sure you leave on a positive note and are able to have your volunteer work as a positive reference. Have your host site supervisor complete an evaluation of your work. A sample evaluation is available through the Volunteer Connections Program Coordinator. This feedback could be helpful as you move forward professionally. You should also ask your host site supervisor if he or she is willing to offer you a letter of reference. So now that you've seen the informational video, if you're still interested in pursuing a volunteer opportunity, download and complete the Volunteer Connections questionnaire from the Workforce Central website. These are also available in the resource room. Then contact the Volunteer Connections Program Coordinator at 508-373-7640 to schedule your Volunteer Connections workshop. Space is limited, so don't delay. Also, look out for information about the Volunteer Connections Exchange events, which helps to connect volunteer candidates with organizations in person. On behalf of the Workforce Central Career Center and the Central Mass Workforce Investment Board, we'd like to thank you for watching this presentation and wish you the best of luck.